Okay, so let's get right into it. Now, remember we had a question yesterday, last recording, that we need to answer first, and that question was, why does someone who eats truma intentionally not pay a fifth? So to answer this question, we're first going to go through a few korbanos, a few mishnayos in Maseches Truma, the Mishnah in Mishnah Aleph of Perek Vav and Mishnah Aleph of Perek Zayin, which the Perek Vav is talking about someone who eats Truma on by accident, and Perek Zayin is talking about someone who eats Truma on purpose. So we're going to see the difference between them, and we're going to see the Perush HaMishnayos of the Rambam on them. So let's get right in. So first, the Mishnah says, Ha'ochel truma shoyeg meshalem keren v'charmer. Someone who eats truma by accident, he pays keren, which is the amount that he ate or stole or got benefit in whatever way it was. If he stole and got benefit, or used it as a sicha, anointment, or ate, drank, whatever it is, he ate truma. If by accident, so mishalem keren v'charmish, he pays a keren, which is the amount, and a fifth. Echad oichel v'echad shoyse v'echad asach, doesn't matter if he eats, drinks, or anoints upon himself. Echad truma tahira, doesn't matter if it's truma tahara. Echad truma tameya, doesn't matter if it's truma tameya or truma tahara. It's truma sai. We have a pasuk that says truma sai, and we say that means two trumas, truma tameya and truma tahara. Both of them are in the klal that you have to pay it off. Echad truma tahara v'echad truma tameya mishalem chomesh. He has to pay a fifth. After the keren, he has to pay a fifth. So he pays a keren. Let's go over the Mishnah again. Ha'ochel truma shagug, if he eats truma by accident, mishalem keren v'chomish, he has to pay a keren, the amount that he got benefit from, v'chomish, and to add a fifth. Echad ha'ochel v'echad ha'shoyse v'echad ha'sach. Doesn't matter if he eats, drinks, or anoints. Echad truma tahara, echad truma tameya. Doesn't matter if it's truma tahara or truma tameya. Mishalem chomish, he has to pay a fifth. V'chomesh chumsha, and on that fifth, if he gets benefit on that fifth, in other words, it has the same din as truma, and therefore, on that fifth, he has to pay another fifth, meaning he'll have to pay it as the keren to the kohen, and he'll have to pay on that a fifth. Because and the only way you could pay it is through chulin. You can't pay off what you benefited from by giving the kohen truma, because that's anyway the kohen. You're not allowed to pay off a debt that you have with something that you with truma. You're not allowed to pay off a debt that you have for truma with truma itself. You have to pay it from chulin. You see it all the time in the Torah. We'll see the concept that you don't pay off your debt out of kachim. You have to pay it off of chulin. It's like someone would give taxes. You would pay off his taxes with something that he owes the government anyway, and not for whatever a different reason. That's, you could perhaps say that that's the similarity over here. Now, Mesukanin, of course, means that already Trumas and Marzos are taken from, because if Trumas and Marzos weren't taken from the Chulin when you sell it, when you give it, pay it to the Kohen, then part of this is anyway going to the Kohen and the Levi, so you didn't pay it off completely from your own. You paid it off partially from the Kohen's or the Levi's. V'hein na'asin truma v'atashlumin truma, and they become truma, and the tashlumin are truma. Im ratza Kohen limchal eina mochel. If these become truma, and similarly, if you eat what you paid, you also have to pay off truma, meaning it has the din of truma l'chol davar completely. So this is someone who eats truma b'shog. Now, just one point I wanted to point out, by the way, the Yerushalmi brings over here. It says ksiv v'ish yochal kodesh b'shgoga v'yasaf chamish yisrael lev. It says in the pasuk, someone who eats kodesh by accident, which over here is talking about truma, v'yasaf chamish yisrael, he should add a fifth. Shiyahu v'chum shoy chamisha, that it and its fifth should be 5. So what does this mean? The Rambam explains, and the Mefarshim over here in the Yerushalmi explain. The Rambam doesn't bring it in the name of the Yerushalmi, but it's pretty clear that's where he got it. But I think also the Gemara Bavli speaks about this. But anyhow, the Mefarshim over here, especially, say that this means what so what the Gemara is saying over here is that when you pay a fifth, what it means is not a fifth from the whole, rather a fifth outside of the whole. What it means is really you're paying a quarter, which is more than a fifth. And altogether, because after you pay a quarter, it comes out to be a fifth because the 4 quarters that you pay of the Karen, plus another quarter, which makes it 5 quarters. So that's what the Chamisha over here is. So it comes out that you're paying more than what it would be if you took a fifth from just the whole that was there beforehand. It's a fifth milabar, not milara. That's what the Yerushalmi is explaining. Now this is something just by the way. But anyhow, let's go on and let's read the Yerushalmi, the Mishnah, Trumos Perik Zayin Mishnah Aleph. Now we just learned Trumos Perik Vav Mishnah Aleph. Now let's learn Trumos Perik Zayin Mishnah Aleph. And the Mishnah says, "Ochel Truma Mezid Mishalem Es HaKeren Ve'eno Mishalem Es HaChomesh." Someone who eats Truma on purpose, Ochel Truma Mezid Mishalem Es HaKeren Ve'eno Mishalem Es HaChomesh. He pays the Keren, and he does not pay the Chomesh. He only pays the Keren. Midin Gezel Gzeila. He stole the coin, so he has to pay him. And he doesn't pay the Chomesh. He doesn't pay a fifth. But had tashlumin chulin, because the din of fifth, the Torah only brings it by if he does it by accident. Had tashlumin chulin, and he pays chulin. Imratza koyan had tashlumin chulin. Sorry, that over here doesn't mean pays chulin. It means that the tashlumin are not truma, meaning they don't have the kedusha of truma. If the Kohen wants to be mochel, he could be mochel. Like he could be mochel if you have to pay someone for stealing. So similarly over here, he could be mochel. So now he could forgive you on it, and then you wouldn't even have to pay the Karen. Now let's go see the Rambam over here. The Rambam says something pretty interesting. Explains it pretty clearly. Lo chiyav Hashem yisbarach b'chaimesh. The fifth is only obligatory. There's only obligation on a fifth for someone who eats by accident truma. Like it's in the pasuk, ve'ish ki yochal kodesh bishgaga. Someone, a man who eats kodesh bishgaga by accident. Ava b'meizid eino chayav chomesh. But if he did it on purpose, he's not chayav a fifth. He's not obligated to pay a fifth. Avonot gadol min sa'ah, because his sin is greater than too great to carry. In other words, it's too great of a sin. V'lo yischaper b'tashlumim, and it's not by paying it that won't atone for his sin. So that was what the Rambam says over here. You could continue. There's a little bit more interesting in the Rambam and the Parashah Mishnayos over here, but that was the main thing that we wanted to mention over here. So just to summarize, what the answer is: a Sefer David Truma intentionally leaves no room for atonement, even by paying a fifth. That's what the Rambam's telling us over here. Now, it could be you could get atonement other ways, I'm not sure, but not through a fifth. Of course, we always say there's always a way for atonement, but this solution that the Torah gave us of paying a fifth is not going to, does not help in this if you did it on purpose, if you ate Truma Be'mezid. Okay, so now we're going to start Mitzvah 119. So let's get right into it. Hamitzvah hakuf yutes. The Rambam says he should sivana lios neter avai kulei kodesh. Vehu amar yisle yeh kol piryoy kodesh hidalim la Hashem v'dinoi. So the mitzvah hakuf yutes is that neter avai. Neta is like a sapling. Revai means the 4th year. It's kulei kodesh. It's completely holy to Hashem. Designated vehu amar yisle yeh kol piryoy kodesh hidalim la Hashem. It's all its fruit should be kodesh. Hilalim, praise worthy or praise to Hashem. Let's just read it maybe in English over here, just to understand a little bit better. In the 4th year, all its fruit shall be sanctified to loud Hashem. This translation is not accurate. There's a better translation, I think. But anyhow, so now, by the way, the Gemara does bring Kodesh Hilolim. The Sefer brings Derech Drasha, and a Drasha Kodesh Hilolim. There's 2 Hilolim, Bracha Shel Fanav, Bracha Shel La'acharav, that you have to make on fruit that we learn from here for other fruit. But I just mentioned, by the way, the Sefer brings this. But if my understanding is the Gemara and Brachos pushes this off as this is not really the case. At the end of the day, this is not the Maskana of the Gemara. If you look over there in Brachos, Perek Shishi, if I remember correctly. Anyhow, V'dino she'aleh Yerushalayim ve'yochluhu sham ba'alav, and the law is that he should eat it in Yerushalayim, and over there his owners, that he should bring it up to Yerushalayim, and over there he should eat it. The owner should eat it. Kama Ma'aser Sheni, like Ma'aser Sheni, it's similar to Ma'aser Sheni, and in fact, as the Rambam is going to bring over here at the end, that the Mishnah, the Neter Avai, even though you would think it would be mentioned with Orla, because we have the din of Orla 3 years, and then Neter Avai the 4th year, but it's not mentioned in Mishnah's Orla. It's mentioned in the last parak of Ma'aser Sheni, because it has the same laws of Ma'aser Sheni, of Hekdesh, and it's more closer to Ma'aser Sheni, even though it applies more in a situation that of like right after Orla, and the same rules it would seem would apply to Neter Avai that would apply to Orla, meaning to say that whichever trees are there's a chiyuv of Orla would be chayav in Neter Avai, and so on. That's how it would appear, but still in its laws, because it's kedusha, it's going to be closer to Ma'aser Sheni. Ma'aser Sheni is just to remind everyone, Ma'aser Sheni is a similar thing, a Ma'aser that you take out not every year, but you bring it up to Yerushalayim and you eat it over there. So now, by the way, the Rambam is defining what it means by Kaddish over here. It doesn't mean that you bring it to the Kohen. Rather, this Neter Avai, you take it to Yerushalayim and you eat it over there. The laws, the Kohanim don't have anything in this. They don't have any portion in this Neter Avai. V'lashayin sifri ve'ishes kadeshav lo yiyu mashach hakasuv kol hakachim v'nasan lakan. The Torah says in Parshas Nasai, and Bamidbar Parshas Nasai, ve'ishes kadeshav lo yiyu. It's talking about certain Matan's Kona, and it brings first what he needs to give to the Kohen is for the Kohen. The ve'ishes kadeshav lo yiyu. A man, his kadashim, the kachim that are for him, the ishes kadeshav, his kadashim should be for him. Lo yu mashacha kasu kol kachim nasam lakain. So the Sifri says all the kachim the Torah gave to the Kohen, all the kachim the Torah gave to the Kohen. Lo shemehen ela toida v'shlamim pesach. Korbanos, parts of korbanos, especially chatas asham, parts of shlamim even, and menachos, parts of menachos, and then which some of these are part of Esrim Matan's Kahuna, but there's so many things that are, all the things that are kaddish are for the Kohen. Only Torah, Korban Torah, which is similar, it's a type of Korban Shlamim, and Shlamim Pesach, Korban Pesach, Ma'aser Behema, which you bring up to Yerushalayim also and eat it. All of, except for these things, everything is to the Kohen. But these things, Ma'aser Behema and Ma'aser Sheni and Neter Avai, all of these are for the Be'alim, and that's what the pasuk is coming to tell us over here. Vishas Kadoshav La Yu, each man his Kadashim should be for him. It's talking about these specific ones. Ukvaris Ba'arud, Dinei Mitzvah Zor, B'shleimus, B'perek Achorim, B'meseches Ma'aser Sheni. And these laws are explained in its complete in the last chapter of Ma'aser Sheni. So now let's go through the psukim in the Torah over here. So the pasuk is the Torah starts v'chitzavo la'aretz, when you come to the land. Untatem kol eitz ma'achal, and you should plant any eitz ma'achal, any tree of fruit, meaning not a cedar tree or things like that, but fruit trees. Varaltem arla soy espiriya, you should make its fruit should be arla. What does that mean? It's arla, that you don't get benefit from it. Arla is like extra. Arla is like, by bris milah it means cover, and it means it might mean a waste or whatever in a certain sense. And over here, that's what it means, that you don't eat it. It should be like a arla. You shouldn't eat it. Uvashana revi'is. And in the fourth year, kol piyur kodesh hilim la Hashem. And in the fourth year, all its fruit should be kodesh, praise to Hashem. All its fruit should be holy, praise to Hashem. Uvashana chamishis techlu espiriya. In the fifth year, it's for you completely, without any obligation to bring to Yerushalayim. And all the techlu espiriya should eat its fruit. Lo yosif lachem tevu asai, to bring to, and then meaning this will be a cause to give you extra fruit. Meaning if you do the mitzvahs of Hashem, this should give you extra fruit. Now the Mishnayos in Masechtas Orla. So I just want to bring one Mishnah over here, and just something that we could bring right out of the Psukim, like it's pretty clear out of the Psukim. That's why. The Mishnah says, when our forefathers came into Eretz Yisrael in the time of Yoshua, matzu natua pater. If they found a tree that was planted, they're pater from orla, similar, and same thing for neter avai. Natu afal pisha loikavshu chayav. But if they planted a sapling, even though they didn't yet capture all the land. Even though they didn't capture the land, it's already chayav in Arla, and that comes straight out of the pasuk, because the pasuk says, when you come to the land and you plant all fruit trees, meaning you have to plant it, and it doesn't have to say v'yashavta, but you should inherit it and sit in it, and then it says when you come and you plant, even if you don't inherit it and dwell there already, you should take orla. So it's in some ways you don't have to capture the land. But if it's a tree that's already there, it's not chayav in orla. That's what the Torah is telling us over there. So that's pretty interesting. Another interesting thing from the Mishnayos, that's what's going to be the din if you're notah, if you plant something, a fruit tree, as a fence and all of that. We're not going to get into that right now, but that's another subject within Orla, which is connected in a certain sense to Neter Avai. That's why I'm bringing it over here. Now, I just want to bring the Rambam, the first halacha, and the Rambam Neter Avai, just to get a better sense of what's going on over here. So the Rambam says, Neter Avai Hareyu Kodesh Ne'emar V'Shana Harvi Yekal Pira Kodesh Hilulim LaHashem. So Neter Avai is Kodesh, like it said it's designated, it's holy, like it said in the pasuk, V'Shana Harvi, on the fourth year, Yekal Pira Kodesh, all its fruit should be holy. Hilulim LaHashem, praise to Hashem. V'dinoi le'achel ve'alav b'Yerushalayim, and the law, similarly, like he said in the Mitzvah, the dinoi le'achel ve'alav b'Yerushalayim, the law is that it should be eaten to its owners in Yerushalayim, k'ma'aser sheni, like ma'aser sheni, ukashem she'en ma'aser sheni b'Surya, kach en neter avai b'Surya. And like there's no ma'aser sheni in Surya, there's no neter avai b'Surya, but okay, that's a side point. But what I wanted to get to over here, Uvenetar avai hu oimer, by netar avai it says, V'ishas kadoshav lo yeh. Each man, his kadoshim should be for him. She'en lecha kadosh shelo nisparsh dinoi batar lemihu. Now I want to say, interesting, that it seems like the Rambam's changing from what he said in the Sefer Mitzvahs a little bit, and from what the Sifri said, what he brought in the Sefer Mitzvahs the Sifri, and it seems like he's changed from it. Because over there he said that this pasuk that tells us every man, the kadoshim that are his should be for him, it's talking about all these, the list of things that are not for the Kohen. Meaning the Torah is just telling us these list of things that are not for the Kohen, they should be for him. But over here the Rambam says that it's talking specifically about Neter Avai. She'en lecha kodesh shelo nisparsh dina batar lamihu. What is this pasuk coming to tell us? This pasuk is coming to tell us there's one kodesh, all the kodeshim in the Torah tells us if they're for the Kohen or for the owners. This one place the Torah doesn't tell us who it's for. In this pasuk, it just says Kodesh Hilulim LaHashem. It's Kodesh, praise to Hashem. It doesn't say who it's for, who eats it, if it goes like to the Mizbech, if it goes to the Kohen and all that. And that's why this, unclear or unspecific pasuk comes for this unspecific, unclear pasuk or more vague pasuk comes to teach us this about, it's coming specifically from Neter Avai to tell us that it's for the Baalim. That's what it's saying. Ve'ish es kadashav. It's talking about Neter Avai. Ish es kadashav. Each man his kadashim. Lo yu should be for him. They should be for them, meaning not to the Kohen. She'en kadash lo yisbar din v'tar lamihu chutz mi Neter Avai. That's what the Rambam is telling us over here. So. Okay, so now we're going to ask I'm going to ask a question for tomorrow's. Well, on this shir, but for tomorrow we're going to answer Be'ezras Hashem tomorrow. The question is, what would be the law regarding Neter Avai when the tree is not? What would be the law in Neter Avai when the tree is not attached to the ground? So, meaning, let's say if it's for example, in a pot, and what would be the din if it's like has holes in the pot, or if it's high up, it doesn't have holes, whatever, all that, or if it's just attached to a chunk of ground but not attached to the ground, what's the din? Is there a din of orla? And similarly, would there be a din of Neter Avai? So that's the question over here. And yeah, that's it for today. Thank you everyone for listening, and Be'ezras Hashem will be back with tomorrow with for Mitzvah 120.